Hey everyone, it's Libby from Meister Tarot. I'd like to acknowledge the Warramai First Nations people. It's WORIMI, and welcome to you, your guides, my guides in the universal energies. First of all, for the senses, entertainment only. And I just have one word for the weekend. Oh my goodness, powerful. Wasn't that incredibly powerful? Latest figures are around the 12 million. Talk about voices being heard. And I hope you guys now realize, especially in those small towns, that you might be a blue dot, but you're not a blue dot alone. I hope you found your tribe. I hope you found your community. And just wasn't it just absolutely incredible? I'm not going to read on how the Orange Twerp felt about his parade. Quite a few readers are reading on that and picking up that he's been spun a story about the success of his birthday parade. However, forever in my mind is seared the image of the empty stands, literally just a smattering of people, and the trunk, the tank supposedly rumbling past going, so I'm just forever burnt in my mind. And that pretty much summed up how that particular parade went. So I'm just going to let that sit. But I mean, you've got to remember that this is a guy. Remember the court cases in New York, and he'd come out of the court and he'd wave to the crowd as if it was some massive supporting, and then the camera panned round, and you were lucky if there were two people right in the distance going back at him. Yeah, just he is delusional, and he is very good, and he's done this his entire life as part of his self-protection process, is that he spins falsehoods in his own mind that he then believes in. So I'm just going to leave it there. It's just I'm not even going to touch on him in regards to. I mean, the guides did say it would be a flop, and I think everybody's guides said it was going to be a flop, and it was pretty much a flop. But his aides will be frantically spinning it for him. Oh gosh, Minnesota, holy crumbs! Just heart absolutely goes out to you over there. Um, when I did the reading, sorry, I'm starting to feel a bit choked up. When I did the reading several weeks ago saying that elected reps would be arrested, my guides did actually have that next stage as well, but I chose, me as the skin being that I am, really hoped it wouldn't come to pass and chose not to articulate that, hoping not to give it any energy, um, but it did. So I, with such a huge uplifting energy, we have something that is just so incredibly low energy. And of course, LaMonica MacGyver has now been charged on a federal level. If I click over to this new article, indicted for forcibly impeding and interfering with federal law enforcement over a recent confrontation outside an immigration centre. It's got no legs, those charges. It faces a maximum term of 17 years and called the charges. Ms. MacGyver has called the charges a brazen attempt of political intimidation, and she will plead not guilty. Absolutely. That has no legs at all. It is all part of the unravelling. Now, us readers have said over and over and over again, it is going to get worse before the collapse actually occurred. So please stay safe, stay peaceful, and buckle up. Okay, what do I want to have a look on? I'm just starting to wonder whether I'll have a quick look at the G7. I am wondering whether the King of Cups is actually Mark Carney. Oh, I had a look. Anthony Albanese, the Australian Prime Minister that is heading to the G7, is also a Pisces. Mark Carney's a Pisces. Chancellor Merz from Germany is a Scorpio. So we've got a lot of potential King of Cups. Yes, there's Bindi having a drink of water over there. So I just want to have a look. How's the G7 going to go for the felon? Okay, right. Let's throw a couple of cards. I know I read on the G7 the other day. I'm just feeling that after this impotent show of force, I'm just going to say impotent show of force. How does the orange twerp feel? Now I'm using the Smith-Waite tarot deck. How does the orange twerp feel? He's going to be on the back foot defensive, very much so. How does the orange twerp feel about going to the G7? How's he feeling with this flop of a parade? I mean, Melania looked like she was just about going to sleep. Somebody stifled a yawn right behind the felon. There was just no energy there. How does he feel? He feels very deflated, very, I'm going to say emasculated, but that's an interesting term that they're giving me. The King of Cups is there. The Sun card, fully exposed, his naivety, his childishness. So who is this King of Cups? We've got investigation, we've got the felon, and we've got either the money trail or the votes. He's feeling very, okay, the word they're giving me is belittle. This is when he's at his most dangerous. I'm just going to put it out there. He's at his most dangerous because his father used to belittle him. We've got here as I split the deck, the win at any cost, lying, betraying, deceit. You've got here the Queen of Swords, a strategy. So I'm getting his father used to belittle him. And so what he's having now is he's having childhood trauma issues. Goodness me. Okay, so how how's the G7 going to go? I gather they're meeting at a place that is accessible by helicopter. Is that right? How's the G7 going to go for him? How's the G7? I do get that he's going. He doesn't want to go, but he's going. I think he's been ordered by dear leader to go. Okay, Ace of Wands. Big stick moment. Oh, and he's just chewing again. Cindy, stop it. Give her feet a wash. Ace of Wands. Okay. Some big announcement, big new plans, new beginnings. Challenged by being the star. So how's it going to go for Felon? Again, I feel like he's going to go in bombastically, but his challenge is that he is not the star. Ooh, yucky, yucky energy. Yeah, I think he's been told that he has to go. In the past, the circles of support, the encouragement surrounding him. In the past, though, it's no longer there. And the Emperor. Look at this through line. The Emperor, the star, the challenge being the star and the devil. Is the Emperor the felon or is the Emperor Kremlin? And I think it's the Kremlin. He's no longer the star, but he's tied to this energy, going in delusional about what he can achieve because he's going to find himself shunned, locked out. I'm getting a door shutting on him. we've got this internally. It's going to be emotionally really difficult for him, which is great. I don't have an issue with that. It might force him to confront. He's never going to confront. I've done a future readings on the felon, and it takes him another 2 lifetimes to actually get over and learn the lesson that he was supposed to learn this lifetime. He stubbornly refuses to do so. Something here is emotionally. Oh gosh, look at these aces! 3 aces. The hopes and fears. The truth, a huge truth coming out. New strategy, the outcome. How's he? It's not going to go well for him. The G7. He's there because he's been told that he has to. Oh, gosh. Is he going to have a health event? I know a lot of readers read that when these 2 cards come together, it's a major health event that brings about an ending, the emotional overwhelming, losing the plot after being shunned and shut out. That the truth is going to be they're going to try and block the truth of it coming out. On the back foot, defensive, but we've got the divine justice on the world stage, and we've got the world leaders. The G7 is absolutely not going to go well for him, but he's been told that he has to go. 3 aces, ace of wands going in there bombastically with his big stick, but he's no longer the star. Ace of cups, emotional, overwhelming. Ace of swords, huge truth being revealed. Now I'm going to keep going because my next card was the election interference and the fool, new beginning. Treason. Is he going to have a vascular event, or is this simply the treason card? While he's out of the country, there's some really big news that's going to come forward. The Hanged Man, my Mark Rutte card, taking action. The Steel, the truth coming out, information from overseas about with the gift from Russia. Oh boy. Okay, this is not going to go well for the felon. I gather the UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer is there already having talks with Carney. As I said, Carney might be this king of cups that I keep getting. The G7. Not going to go well for the felon. But I want to have a look at, is there going to be something to do with the stealing of the election? Well, there's my Mark Rutte, because Mark Rutte is going as well, the head of NATO. And there is the steal, the win at any cost. Okay, because what's also come out, if I have a look here, where did I see that? A Colorado postal employee is currently being charged with 34 counts related to ballot theft in Colorado that occurred in the lead up to the presidential election. So basically, she stole ballots. She then falsely filled out them and returned them, etc. So, there's a lot of these sorts of stories coming out at the moment. Is it going to be? And yes, Senator Padilla got arrested after the gnome. Show me. Okay, the question I was asking in my mind, they've told me to stop shuffling, so I better tell you the question that I was asking, was that is Trump going to be told some truths about the election? I keep getting that he gets told either you or we. Okay, come on down. Shh. That was me saying, oh gosh, by the way. Yeah. Is he going to be told some home truths? I think absolutely. This G7 is the ending for him. The challenge is the information coming in from overseas, the burden, again, the end of a cycle card. The energy that he's going to be stewing in is the overreach, the attempt to, the information he's going to get is just going to be too much for him to control. Yep, there's the delusional in the past, crowning this reading, trying to keep a lid on the situation, trying to keep a lid on his emotions, trying to keep his emotions under control. In the immediate future, be careful what you wish for. But he's going to pretend everything's all hunky-dory. But where's it going to go? We've got here the meetings that take place behind the scenes and internally. He's going to, the meetings behind the scenes where he's been told he either self-sacrifices or he's been given the option to self-sacrifice. I'm going to put it that way. He's going to be given the option to self-sacrifice. And then we've got the fleeing the country card. It's about the steel, the temperance, the alchemy of the steel, and the Page of Pentacles, bringing forth the information from overseas that he's going to find emotionally overwhelming. The secrets, and again the second leaving the country. The hidden agenda, the secrets being revealed, leaving the country, and then we've got everything being exposed. I think he's going to be told something about the steel by one of these King of Cups, Mark Carney, Anthony Albanese, Chancellor Mers. There might be other Kings of Cups there. They have overwhelming information about votes being flipped. There's my Mark Rutte card, a nightmare situation on the back foot. We've got here the wealth, defending himself, how he benefited is going to be threatened as information about the votes, but this is also the rally. And then we've got the loss and disappointment, an offer being made, treason card, and out in the cold. 3 cups, Carney, Albo and Mers perhaps, with a big stick moment. Okay, I don't think the G7 is going to go very well for him. I think they're going to bring some information that is not going to. Just tell me, let's watch a bit of the Pope's message. It wasn't very long. I did expect it to be longer. You did talk about community and being the light of hope. Yeah, powerful message on the world stage. Show me, I'm not talking about the Pope. Is the orange word actually going to go back to the United States from the G7? Judgment, desperately trying to hold on. Justice. Wow. And then the Wheel of Fortune. And then the World. Look at these major arcana that are coming out. Keeps going. The Magician. Considering overseas in regards to the false victory. The election fiddling. Volatile news coming out. Tower moment. Is he going to? And then we've got the Hierophant, his regime falling apart. Is he actually going? There's that King of Cups again, bringing about complete and utter downfall with the truth of a difficult message out of left field that he receives. And then you've got the Lovers card. Wheel of Fortune, Chariot. Look at these mages. Reap what you sow, disappointment, Devil. Doesn't like what he's hearing. And the Flea card. You've got the voters, you've got the agreement, you've got full exposure of the plan to steal the White House by flipping votes in the past, whistleblower, secrets being revealed, hidden agenda, finding himself restricted, the Moon card, and overwhelming emotions. There are so many majors that have come out here about this story. He may I am getting that he will return to the United States, but he's starting I think he realises his days are numbered. The military parade, people did not come out for him. The military, did you see the people marching? They look like they'd rather be, a lot of them look like they'd rather be anywhere else. Now, I know they're not supposed to smile or anything, but there was the body language of those marching. There was no pride in they just the feeling was that there was no pride in their position, in their being there. Okay. Do not be up. I'm just, he's he's just go, he's going to get a lot of bad news at the G7. He's going to get some home truths about the election steal. I think he's going to realise it's the end, or the end is very near. How do I put this? I think he's going to go back to the US, but the plan, he's going to start putting in place the plans to leave again. Okay, I'm just going to say he's going to be cornered. It's when he's going to be most dangerous, especially those that backed him. He has now come out the reason I'm saying this, he's now come out from what I read this morning, he's now come out and said that the US entering the Israel-Iran conflict is now not off the table. This is why I'm saying he's his most dangerous when he's cornered, and he is feeling cornered. Okay, I'm going to leave that there. I'll let it play out. I'll catch you shortly.